Thanks so much for watching. Here's a live look at the Bahamas tonight, coming your way next.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight at 11, former Police Staff Association president will serve time behind bars, but for how long? We've got the answer. Former National Security Minister Marvin Dames defends his name after an alleged business partner was arrested for drugs. And we take an inside look at why you should mark your X for the PLP's new candidate in the St. James constituency. The Bahamas tonight at 11 starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis, and welcome to the broadcast. It was 4 years ago when the then officer in charge of the Acklands District, former Police Staff Association President Sonny Miller, was arrested for reportedly being involved in a drug bust in Spring Point. He was convicted earlier this year, and now, fast forward to today, Miller was sentenced in the magistrate's court on those drug charges. Fern Carey leads us off tonight at 11 from the Nassau Street Court Complex.
Former chairman of the Police Staff Association, Sonny Miller, sentenced to 6 years behind bars at the Bahamas Department of Corrections for his role in a drug trafficking scheme. Miller appeared calm as Deputy Chief Magistrate Shaka Seville passed sentence. Miller was Assistant Superintendent of Police and officer in charge of Acklands, Crooked Island, and Long Key when prosecutors said he assisted 2 Colombians in bringing the dangerous drugs into the country. In passing sentence, the Deputy Chief Magistrate highlighted that Miller was a serving police officer of superior rank who served on the force for 29 years. He said the former ASP was expected to ensure that the offenses he was convicted of did not happen, but didn't. In his plea in mitigation, Miller's attorney, Bijan Ferguson, asked the court to give him no more than 2 years in prison, stressing that the Bahamas Department of Corrections is not fit for human habitation, and noted that Miller has health issues that could not be properly managed at the prison. Ferguson also cited Miller's strong community engagement, but prosecutor Shanika Carey noted that Miller was found with 72 kilos of cocaine worth $1.4 million and 15 kilos of marijuana valued at $68,000. She said Miller used his position as a cover to commit the offenses. The prosecutor urged the judge to send a strong message of deterrence. Miller was facing up to 7 years behind bars for the crime. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
Thanks a lot, Fern. A middle-aged man is lucky to be alive after falling on the job last evening in the Seabreeze area. According to police, the 57-year-old was at the time carrying out repairs to a street light approximately 20 feet above ground while on a bucket truck. However, the lift mechanism reportedly malfunctioned, causing the man to fall to the ground. The injured man was rushed to hospital. At last report, he was in stable condition. The matter is under active investigation. 3 people are in custody tonight following an intelligence-led operation that resulted in the seizure of a large sum of cash. Authorities say shortly after 3:30 Monday afternoon, the Drug Enforcement Unit Financial Crimes Investigation Branch and the K-9 unit officers stopped and searched a blue Dodge Ram in the Faith Avenue area. During that search, officers discovered $47,418 concealed in various parts of the vehicle. 2 men ages 40 and 42 were arrested and cautioned on suspicion of money laundering and possession of the proceeds of crime. Police also executed a search warrant at the suspect's residence where a 39-year-old woman of Haitian nationality was taken into custody for immigration purposes after failing to produce legal documentation. Investigations continue. A Free National Movement candidate is pushing back after his name began circulating online in connection with a major federal drug investigation over in the United States. Leah Cooper has the details in this report.
Former National Security Minister and Free National Movement Mount Moriah candidate Marvin Dames breaks his silence with social media buzzing over claims that a Bahamian politician could be linked to a major drug bust at sea in the United States. Dames says he wants to make it clear he has done nothing wrong, and so far no authority in the Bahamas or the United States has named any political figure as a target in this case. Here's what we do know, though. Federal documents detail a February 11th interception just 4 nautical miles off Fort Lauderdale. A 45-foot boat called the Real Experience was stopped after arriving from Nassau. On board, investigators say they found a staggering 200 kilograms of cocaine, bricked, wrapped, and in plain view, along with 248 bottles of cough syrup. The man at the center of it all, Malcolm Rashad Goodman, is now facing federal drug charges. The affidavit states that after being advised of his rights, Goodman declined to speak without an attorney. However, prior to receiving those warnings, he allegedly made spontaneous statements, including, "I am going to eat it," and further stated that he was guilty and solely responsible for the smuggling of the narcotics. Goodman is charged with possession with intent to distribute cocaine and importation of a controlled substance. A pretrial detention order filed February 20th shows that Goodman waived his right to a bond hearing and stipulated to detention. He remains in the custody of the United States Marshals pending trial. Goodman is charged with possession with intent to distribute cocaine and importation of a controlled substance. Now, Dames admits he knew the man in this investigation in a business capacity, but he draws a hard line there. He says he has had no knowledge of any illegal activity, no involvement in any smuggling operation, and that neither he nor his wife has engaged in criminal conduct. He says he's ready to cooperate, ready for scrutiny from law enforcement here in the Bahamas and in the United States. Now, there's also been rumors circulating on social media of Dames dropping out of the race due to these allegations, and Free National Movement officials have told ZNS News that this information is absolutely false, maintaining that Dames has done nothing wrong. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Leah Cooper.
Thanks a lot, Leah. Well, he's been keeping law and order as a leading attorney for the past 15 years, 3 of them as managing partner of McKinney & Co. And now the PLP's party standard bearer for the newly formed St. James constituency, Owen Wells, is now ready to serve in a different capacity. His inaugural edition of my series, Political Lens, where candidate Wells outlines why constituents should mark their X for him on Election Day. A noted attorney, businessman, and devoted Anglican Owen Wells securing the nomination to serve a constituency he's lived in with his family for about 9 years is bittersweet. The neophyte of the political arena shared the inspiration behind the decision to run on the Progressive Liberal Party's ticket.
It's not really about me, it's more about country and progress. I wanted to see continued progress for what is happening now in the Bahamas. Obviously, I think the PLP is the party, and the progress that they have now, I want to help build upon that.
In early January, the constituency's commission approved the formation of the St. James constituency in Western New Providence. On the record, the country's 41st constituency already has some 5,164 registered voters. Candidate Wells strongly believes that assessing the issues St. James residents face and making himself more available will give him the edge to pick up a win at the polls.
Everyone that I've visited thus far is happy that someone new is entering, someone with a fresh vision, fresh ideas, and someone that seems that they're ready to serve.
As the PLP's campaign kicks into high gear and boots remain on the ground, Wells contends one of his biggest goals is to get to the root cause of voter apathy among young voters.
There's a segment in our society who are totally disenfranchised with the process, disenfranchised with politics, and disenfranchised with parliamentarians on the general. They think that things will always be the same, that parliamentarians and members of parliament are only concerned for themselves and not concerned about the needs and wants of a community in general. They think that once they give you the vote, you won't see them again.
And regardless of titles and the wealth of experience his opponents may have, Wells admits he's more than confident that when it's all said and done and ballots are tallied, all will be well with Owen Wells. Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis joins his regional leaders attending CARICOM's 50th regular 3-day high-level summit in St. Kitts and Nevis. Reflecting on the year that was, CARICOM Secretary General Dr. Carla Barnett deemed 2025 one of CARICOM's most challenging years in the history of regional integration movement. Extreme weather events, geopolitical tension, challenges to multilateralism. But even in the face of gains, she reminded CARICOM leaders of the importance of the meeting against the prevailing environment, begging the need for frank and thorough discussions.
We must continue to act together where our interests align, which in fact is far more often than it is sometimes made to appear. At the same time, the shifting global order presents tangible opportunity As new markets emerge, strategic partnerships are recalibrated, CARICOM must engage extra-regionally with intention and with coherence by articulating our shared priorities in such areas as energy transition, digital infrastructure, building resilience to climate change and technology. We can attract investments and forge business opportunities that are aligned with our development objectives. A coordinated foreign policy reduces our vulnerability to the inevitable external shocks which no member state can effectively absorb alone.
And still to come, a faith-based conference boosting religious tourism. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight at 11.
You have enough things to worry about. Living in a world that can seem opposite of the things you are trying to accomplish.
I can need a little help with this.
We're here to let you know that you don't have to go at it alone. Choose peace of mind. Choose comfort. Choose CB. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Sweet and spicy, marinated right, tossed with chili. Garlic and ginger have many flavors, like honey barbecue.
Signature hot wings, turn up the heat for you. Those pepper wings, what's your flavor?
Roasted garlic parmesan, tastes so good, chicken, you know.
So many flavors to try. What's your flavor? Honey barbecue, sweet and spicy, all new.
Signature hot wings.
What's your flavor?
Roasted garlic parmesan, tastes so good, chicken, you know.
Those pepper wings.
There are over 3 million shipwrecks on the ocean floor, just waiting to be found. Nothing is truly ever lost at sea, only hidden by time and sand. When I put this fleet together, it wasn't just for fun. And although we do have fun, we never lose sight of our goal. Right here, right now, we are on a mission.
Religious leaders from across the Caribbean are preparing to assemble here in the Bahamas, not just for worship, but for unity, as Transformation Ministries International prepares to host its 77th General Convention March 1st through 6th. In partnership with the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos Islands Council and the Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation. The convention is designed to strengthen communities and families alike. Host Pastor Bishop Dr. Anthony Farrington calls the convention paramount, emphasizing that in a time of social pressure and moral uncertainty, gatherings like these serve as anchors of hope.
This level of international participation not only reflects the strength of our global fellowship, but also provide meaningful economic and spiritual impact for our nation. We are also deeply grateful for the partnership and collaboration of the Ministry of Tourism, Investment and Aviation. We extend our sincerest appreciation to the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, Minister of Tourism, Investment and Aviation, and to Dr. Kenneth Romer, Director of Religious Tourism, along with their teams for their support, guidance, and shared vision in positioning the Bahamas as the premier destination for religious tourism and international faith-based conferences.
Pointing to ongoing initiatives aimed at diversifying the religious tourism product, Deputy Director General for the Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Dr. Kenneth Romer, notes that such conventions generate an economic boost while also fostering meaningful connections.
We're going to do it bigger and better when it comes to faith-based tourism, cultural and heritage tourism, of course. And at the end of the day, we are tying into the national tourism narrative, if not just exposing folks to our destination, but converting that demand into heads and beds and ultimately monies into the pockets of of our local entrepreneurs and our stakeholders. So stay tuned. It's going to be an exciting plan.
Bahamian culture was on full display at the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture at its annual 242 Day pop-up. The event combined all of our Bahamian colors, music, food, and fashion in celebration of the richness of the nation's heritage. Cultural Officer Anya Bowe boasts that preserving national pride is essential.
We have to keep our traditions alive. We have to keep certain things like bringing out our straw vendors. We have to see what's going on, but not just what's been happening in the past, but also what's going on innovatively. Our craftsmen, our craftspeople have been, our craft artisans have been going above and beyond to be innovative and creative with the things that they create. And so we want to make sure we keep that to the forefront.
Attendees echoed similar sentiments, touting that culture is woven into everyday life. For some, Bahamian culture is expressed through shared experiences like storytelling, straw work, or music. For Audrey Curry, her Bahamian culture is expressed most clearly through a good meal.
What it means to me, all the treats, all the sweets, and of course, the savory stuff like the peas and rice and some fried fish, along with some coleslaw. Yeah, for me.
Amajal Knowles has a look at what's coming up in sports.
C.I. Gibson Rattlers take this year's Hugh Campbell title. Details of that story and more coming up in sports.
Power has reach. It stretches across communities, lighting homes, schools, and businesses. But some of that power extends far beyond the grid. And for one BPL employee, that reach is touching lives, restoring hope, and creating second chances.
How many of you have heard these statements? They have done the crime, now they must spend the time. What about throw the key away and just lock them up? People in the street ask this question. Dave, why are you wasting time with them old criminals? They can't change. And my response has been, they will return back to society.
For Williams, it's this reality that has powered more than 20 years of work in prison ministry. Speaking to the Men-Only Rotary Club of West Nassau, Williams explained why men are at a greater risk of reoffending.
Most of them come out and they can't find nothing to do because why? Society is not willing to give them a chance.
Denver Pratt, who spent 10 years in federal prison, is a living example of a second chance. Now a business owner, he has dedicated his life to mentoring young men through Prison Fellowship Bahamas.
All of us has to be a part of this crime problem, get involved, seek someone that you can mentor to deter them from crime, because if not, it's going to come to our doors, it's going to come to our businesses. So all of us have to play a part. The key thing to this, and what kept me for all of those years, is having a relationship with Jesus Christ.
I think one of the things that stood out to me is the need for fathers in the home. Without that influence, a lot of young men in particular get led astray.
From empowering communities to empowering lives, this is what service beyond the grid looks like. And for David Williams, service doesn't just end when the lights turn on. It begins when hope is restored.
Tuesday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. The Kendall G. Lazick Gymnasium was the place to be on Monday night as it played host to an epic Nassau versus a Grand Bahama clash as the St. George's Jaguars faced off against the C.I. Gibson Rattlers in the 42nd Hugh Campbell Basketball Tournament Championship game that would see the Rattlers prevail and Kevin Johnson secure an unprecedented 7th Hugh Campbell title. Let's take a look at the highlights. Opening quarter, the Jaguars in transition. Cameron McIntosh gets the first basket of the game to put St. George's up 2-0. So in the first quarter, Rattlers on offense. Sidney Higgs gets the tough layup to go to cut the score to 4 with just under 2 to play. Still in the first, Jaguars' Mekhi Nesbitt takes the bump, misses his layup, but he would get the rebound and go back up for 2. He had a side-high 15 points and 9 boards. Closing moments of the first, Nesbitt crossover into the midi pull-up, swishes it in to put the Jags up by 9. To the second, Rattlers looking to gain an advantage on the inside. They'd find big man Mario Roll, who finishes strong on the inside through the contact to make this a one-possession game. Not the last time we will hear that name called. So in the second, Jaguars with numbers on the break. Daquan Joseph with the Euro step into the lefty lay. Jags go up by 3. Rattlers in transition on the break. Jawado Wright missed here. Mario Roll gets the rebound and put back to give the Rattlers their first lead of the game in this one, 23-22. Rattlers cling to a 1-point lead, but Daquan Joseph would find Ian Gibson on the inside for the easy finish to put the Jaguars back up by 1 at 35-34. And that will be the score at the half. To the third quarter, where the tide would turn in favor of the Rattlers, turning up the defense, getting the steal here and the layup to go up by 5. Rattlers defense still swarming, forcing another turnover. Dariano Stubbs will find Jawado Wright again for the layup. Rattlers up by 7. Still in the third, Darius Hannah goes up for the layup but misses, but no problem. Super Mario Roll there yet again for the putback. Rattlers go up by double digits. Closing moments of the third, Rattlers on the break, right with the miss, and Roll there yet again. He would finish with a monster stat line of 24 points and 18 rebounds. Jags trying to stop the bleeding in the fourth quarter. Nesbitt with the floater to cut things to 11, but the Rattlers bite just too venomous on this night. Sidney Higgs, top of the key, Hezzy into the tough left-handed finish to mark the exclamation point on this one. Kevin KJ Johnson securing his 7th Hugh Campbell title with a 75-53 win. Mario Roll, your championship MVP.
It's hard work, perseverance. I just want to thank God for the opportunity to coach these young men and try to do our best to keep these young men out of jail, try to help them as best as we can. Instead of Mario lost his dad, he's playing with a heavy heart. And I feel it for him. But he came out and did it for him, you know. And he worked so hard where he came from. And I'm happy for him. And, you know, I just want to also thank my wife for giving me the opportunity to come out and the long hours coaching these young men. And, you know, even the principal at the C.I. Gibson and all the staff down there, they really support the program.
And of course, the celebrations not stopping last night as they would be carried over to the school's campus in Marathon this morning. In this report, our Charles Fisher lets us know how Rattler Nation and the game's MVP felt about being on top once again.
It's a place to be. C.I. Gibson is the place for you and me. We wear the blue and white as we try to survive. We are second to none. We are second. Say MVP! MVP!
The morning after, chants ringing for MVP Mario Roll. 24 points, 18 rebounds, and 5 block shots.
For the first time, they was tripling me. Like every time I catch the ball, 5 of them coming to me, so I couldn't really do nothing. But the second half, I started feeling the game. Then the game just come to me, let the game come to me. I ain't just going about it, I force it and just let the game come to me.
Roll deciding to play days after losing his father, rode that emotion with most of his family and supporters shouting his name throughout the game.
I continued playing in the tournament because I know if my daddy was there, he'd have been proud of me, witnessing what I could do. Even though he didn't know I could do it, but I did it for him.
For being named MVP, he received 2 round-trip tickets courtesy of Bahamas Air to go watch VJ Edgecombe and the Philadelphia 76ers face the Miami Heat at the end of March.
First Hugh Campbell MVP award, make history. Didn't get none last year or year before last. My other team may get it, but I feel good I get this one, my senior year.
Looking forward to the trip to Miami next month?
Yes, sir.
Who are you taking with you?
My mommy.
Okay.
And
Coach Kevin K.J. Johnson, the winningest coach in Hugh Campbell history, with 7 and a high five for the boys. A job well deserved and done. For ZNet Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
Switching lanes, this time in track news from this weekend. World record holder Devin Charlton showing she is still amongst the elite hurdlers in the world. Charlton recording a season's best time, meet record, and current world lead of 7.7 seconds at the Orland Copernicus Cup staged in Turin, Poland over the weekend. Charlton advanced out of Heat 2 with the second fastest time of 7.87 seconds, and the two-time world indoor gold medalist and world indoor record holder lowered her time to 7.77 seconds for a first-place finish in the final at the World Athletics Indoor Tour meet. Charlton's time was just 0.05 of a second shy of the 7.72 second mark. That solidified her second straight victory in the women's 60-meter hurdles at last year's World Indoor Championships in Nanjing, China. Again, a recent time is ranked first in the world in the women's 60-meter hurdles, placing her in good standing ahead of next month's World Indoor Championships, slated for March 20 through the 22nd in Turin, Poland. And that's all the time we have for you for sports on this Tuesday. I'm Amajal Knowles, signing out until tomorrow.
It's time now for a weather check with Diane Dorset. Good evening, Diane.
Good evening, LaDawn. Our satellite picture shows clearer skies across the island chain, and the area of high pressure across the Bahamas will decrease through Saturday, resulting in pretty nice boating conditions in the northwest and central Bahamas right into Saturday. Now let's take a quick check on temperatures around the Family Islands. In the northwest Bahamas, 62 degrees in Freeport City and Green Turtle Key, 64 in Marashaba, Abaco, 61 degrees in Alistown, Bimini, and 66 in Bullocks Harbor. Fresh Creek, Central Andrews, 65 degrees. Camp Space, South Andrews, Black Point, Exuma, Harbor Island, 67. Roxley and Luther, 66 degrees. 67 also in Arthurstown, Cat Island, Rumkey, and San Salvador. 68 degrees in Georgetown, Exuma, and 4 our southernmost islands. Clarence Town, Crooked Island, and Ragged Island, 70 degrees. Betsy Bay and Auckland, 71. Matthew Town and Nagua, 73. And for the Turks and the Caicos Islands, 74 degrees. Now tonight, you can expect clear and chilly conditions with a cool 54 degrees, and for tomorrow, mostly sunny and nice with a warm temperature of 73 degrees. Now looking ahead, the extended forecast calls for another chilly night tomorrow with a warming trend establishing itself on Thursday with daytime temperatures in the low 80s through early next week. Back to you, LaDawn.
Thanks a lot, Diane. Well, that does it for the Bahamas tonight at 11. For all of us here at ZNS, I'm LaDawn Davis. See you right back here tomorrow, same time, same station. Have a great night, everybody. At Centerville, I'm LaDawn Davis. This is ZNS.
Welcome to all of you in the Caribbean and beyond. This is Caribbean Passport TV. I'm Erin Olivia Dennison.
And I'm Aidan St. Agathe.
Every episode of Caribbean Passport TV is a real feast for the eyes and ears as we explore the vibrant, extraordinary heritage of the Caribbean diaspora. But today is going to be extra special, right, Aidan?
Right, Erin, because we're on the threshold of one of the greatest shows on earth, Trinidad and Tobago Carnival. This is the event we've all been anticipating. It's a time of music, festivity, creativity,
revelry, unforgettable performances of multicolored costumes. It's a real vibe.
So today on Caribbean Passport TV, we're going to whet your appetite with just an indulgent taste of Trinidad and Tobago Carnival. We're also going to give you a look at Antigua and Barbuda's Art Week, as well as some highlights from SOTIC, the Caribbean Tourism Organization's State of the Tourism Industry Conference.
We also have a very special guest in this episode, Trinidad and Tobago's Minister of Trade, Investment